Long before the first temple was built, before the first prayer was whispered into the wind, there was nothing. Not darkness, not silence, but a vast, formless expanse the ancient Greeks called chaos. From this primordial void, the very first beings emerged, not gods in the traditional sense, but cosmic forces so enormous they were beyond comprehension. Gaia, the earth herself, rose from chaos, solid and eternal. Tartarus, the deep abyss beneath the world, followed. Then came Eros, not the mischievous winged boy we often picture, but a primal force of attraction and creation that would bind the universe together. These were not beings with personalities or desires. They were the raw materials of existence. Gaia then gave birth to Uranus, the sky, who stretched above her like a canopy of stars. Together, Gaia and Uranus became the first true couple of creation, and from their union came the Titans, 12 massive, powerful beings who would rule the cosmos long before the Olympians ever drew breath. Among them were Cronus, Rhea, Oceanus, and Hyperion, each governing different aspects of the natural world. But even in this earliest age, power came with a price, and the seeds of conflict were already being planted deep within the foundations of the universe. Uranus, despite being the father of the Titans, was a cruel and fearful ruler. He despised his children and forced them back into Gaia's womb, refusing to let them see the light of the world. Gaia, in agony and fury, crafted a great adamantine sickle and called upon her children to rise against their father. Only Cronus, the youngest and most cunning of the Titans, was brave enough to answer. He took the sickle, waited for his moment, and castrated Uranus, casting the severed parts into the sea. From the foam that gathered around them, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, was born. A stunning reminder that even acts of violence can give rise to something breathtaking. Cronus then took his place as ruler of the cosmos, with his sister Rhea as his queen. But a prophecy haunted him. Just as he had overthrown his own father, one of his children would one day overthrow him. Consumed by paranoia, Cronus devised a horrifying solution. Each time Rhea gave birth, he swallowed the child whole. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon all disappeared into the depths of their father's stomach. When Rhea gave birth to her sixth child, Zeus, she could no longer bear the loss. She wrapped a stone in swaddling clothes and presented it to Cronus, who swallowed it without question. The real Zeus was hidden away on the island of Crete, raised in secret, growing stronger with every passing year, waiting for the moment destiny had promised him. When Zeus came of age, he returned to his father's court disguised as a cupbearer. With the help of a potion provided by the Titaness Medes, he caused Cronus to vomit up all 5 of his swallowed siblings, fully grown and burning with rage. Together, Zeus and his brothers and sisters declared war on the Titans in a conflict known as the Titanomachy, a 10-year war that shook the very foundations of the cosmos. The Olympians, as they came to be known, fought from Mount Olympus, while the Titans held their ground on Mount Othrys. The battle was catastrophic, reshaping mountains and boiling seas. Zeus made a crucial decision that turned the tide. He descended into Tartarus and freed the Cyclopes and the Hecatonchires, the 100-handed giants who had been imprisoned there by Uranus. In gratitude, the Cyclopes forged Zeus his legendary thunderbolts, gave Poseidon his trident, and gave Hades a helmet of invisibility. Armed with these divine weapons, the Olympians overwhelmed the Titans. Cronus and most of the Titans were cast into Tartarus, bound in chains for eternity. Zeus claimed the sky, Poseidon took the seas, and Hades descended to rule the underworld. The age of the Olympians had begun, and the world, as the ancient Greeks understood it, finally took its recognizable shape. With the Titans defeated, the 12 Olympians established themselves as the supreme rulers of the cosmos, each presiding over a specific domain of human and natural life. Zeus, king of the gods, governed justice, law, and the sky, wielding his thunderbolts from the heights of Mount Olympus. His wife Hera ruled over marriage and family, though her relationship with Zeus was famously stormy, marked by jealousy and betrayal. Poseidon commanded the oceans, earthquakes, and horses, earning the fear and reverence of sailors across the Mediterranean. Demeter oversaw the harvest and agriculture, her grief over the abduction of her daughter Persephone giving rise to the seasons themselves. Apollo, son of Zeus, was the god of the sun, music, poetry, and prophecy, his oracle at Delphi consulted by kings and generals for centuries. His twin sister Artemis ruled the moon, the hunt, and the wilderness. Athena, born fully armored from the head of Zeus, embodied wisdom, warfare strategy, and craftsmanship. Ares, the god of war, represented its brutal and chaotic side, feared even by his fellow Olympians. Hephaestus, the divine blacksmith, forged weapons and wonders in his volcanic forge. Hermes served as the messenger of the gods, guiding souls to the underworld and presiding over commerce and thieves. Dionysus, god of wine and ecstasy, reminded mortals that joy and madness often walked hand in hand. Together, these gods were not distant, perfect beings. They were passionate, flawed, and deeply entangled in the lives of the humans they watched over. Greek mythology was never just about the gods, it was equally, if not more so, about the heroes who walked the earth between the divine and the mortal. These were men and women of extraordinary ability, often born from unions between gods and humans, destined for greatness and tragedy in equal measure. Heracles, perhaps the most famous of all Greek heroes, was the son of Zeus and a mortal woman named Alcmene. His life was defined by impossible labors, 12 tasks assigned to him as punishment and redemption, from slaying the Nemean lion to capturing the three-headed dog Cerberus from the underworld. Perseus slew the Gorgon Medusa, whose gaze turned men to stone, using a mirrored shield to avoid her deadly eyes. Theseus navigated the labyrinth of Crete to slay the Minotaur, a creature half man and half bull, born from a curse placed upon King Minos. Odysseus, the cunning hero of the Trojan War, spent 10 years trying to return home to Ithaca, battling Cyclopes, sirens, and the wrath of Poseidon along the way. These stories were not simply entertainment. They were moral frameworks, exploring themes of pride, hubris, loyalty, sacrifice, and the consequences of defying the natural order. The monsters these heroes faced, the Hydra, Scylla, and Charybdis, the Sphinx, were not random obstacles. They were manifestations of the chaos that civilization must constantly struggle against. Every hero's journey was, at its core, a reflection of the human experience itself. Perhaps the most enduring quality of Greek mythology is its emotional honesty. These stories do not shy away from heartbreak, loss, or the devastating consequences of unchecked desire. The myth of Orpheus and Eurydice tells of a musician so gifted that his music could move stones and calm rivers. When his beloved Eurydice died, Orpheus descended into the underworld and played so beautifully that even Hades wept and agreed to release her, on one condition. Orpheus must walk ahead and not look back until they reach the surface. He almost made it. In the final moments, overcome by doubt and longing, he turned. Eurydice vanished back into the darkness forever. The story of Icarus warns against the intoxication of ambition. Given wings of feathers and wax by his father Daedalus, Icarus was told not to fly too close to the sun. Drunk on the sensation of flight, he soared higher and higher until the wax melted and he plummeted into the sea. Narcissus fell so deeply in love with his own reflection that he wasted away staring at it, unable to pull himself from the water's edge. Echo, who loved him, faded until only her voice remained. These myths carry a weight that transcends their ancient origins. They speak to the universal human struggles with love, loss, ambition, and identity. The Greeks understood something profound, that the gods were not separate from humanity, but were, in many ways, humanity's most extreme and magnified reflection. Every thunderbolt, every broken heart, every triumphant hero was a story about what it means to be alive, to strive, to fail, and to find meaning in a world that does not always offer easy answers.